Mike, of course, coming into cliff-hanging situations is how you make your bread and butter, and it was a cliff-hanging situation in the 7th inning with runners at first and third, and I guess perhaps the most dangerous hitter in baseball, and especially since Hank Aaron is going after Babe Ruth's record and would like to do it this year, it makes it even more dangerous. I'd like to know how you pitched to Hank Aaron with runners at first and third and one out. You got him to hit into a 5-4-3 double play.
Well, as you said, Hank is really tough in those situations. Everybody thinks about his home runs, but he is so good at being able to get a piece of the ball hard in a clutch situation. He doesn't have all the RBIs he's had over the years without knowing how to hit in those situations. I went after him a little bit different than I had done all year. I hadn't had the same type of situation, so I hadn't had to go after him this way. So I started him off with a slider. Now, I know that I felt that he was looking for the screwball, so that the slider would give me an edge. And then when we'd had a little trouble getting our signs, because Stinson's in there, and he and I haven't worked that much together, he stepped out, and I think then he changed to looking for the fastball because I didn't accept the first sign from Stinson. And so I still had the edge because with the slider, a pitch he hadn't seen from me all year, and we were fortunate getting a ball hit right at somebody.
Okay, Mike, of late now, we're talking about the outing the other night, and here in the 8th inning, you walked a couple of batters with 2 out. Dave was mentioning just a few minutes ago before this interview started that in 1968, I think you pitched 211 innings as a starting pitcher. With this outing this afternoon, you have now pitched more innings this year than you ever have with the Expos in the past. I know that you're proud of your conditioning and everything else, but I'd like to ask you this. Do you find yourself getting tired as the season draws on?
Well, it's really difficult for me to appraise. In fact, it'd probably be better for somebody sitting outside taking a look at me because I feel the same every day. The walks are bothering me, but they're bothering me in that the ball is breaking so much. I'm putting more on the ball than actually I should in many situations. They're breaking off the plate. I mean, a first pitch to a hitter does not have to be a real strong breaking pitch. All it has to be is a good breaking ball in pretty good location. And I'm breaking them too big, and it's getting me behind in the count. And then I'm pitching, I think, a little bit too fine, and the ball's sinking more than I want. Maybe this is fatigue, but I think we can overcome it and bring the ball back into the strike zone, all right?
All right, Mike, the other fellow on the mound this afternoon, when I say Necro, of course, you got to mention both of them, Phil and Joe. But Phil, of course, is noted for the knuckler. Joe Necro is also throwing a knuckler similar to the one of his brother Phil. But Phil mainly is perhaps one of the best-known knuckleball pitchers in baseball right now. I'd like to ask you this. Which is a tougher pitch for a pitcher to control, the knuckleball or the screwball?
Well, I think that we have to go along with the knuckleball. There has never been, in my knowledge of the game, the years I've been in it, a knuckleball pitcher who could be successful by throwing a knuckleball a third of the time or even half of the time. It's the kind of pitch that you have to throw all the time because not only do you have to have the fine control to throw it to start it out in the strike zone, but the thing breaks so unusually that you can't tell where it's going to break, and the darn thing might break out of the strike zone even though you release it perfect. So you have to throw it every time in order that you can get in there 3 out of 6 times. A screwball, on the other hand, its break is regulatory. You can control how much it breaks. Although it's very difficult to learn to throw, you certainly know how much it will break once it is released.
Now, if you got a better chance, say you're behind the hitter 3-1, as Necro was on Pepe Manuel when Pepe hit his home run. Is it easier to come in then with the screwball as against the knuckleball?
Yes, I think it is. You can throw a screwball, start it in the middle of the strike zone, and you know it'll stay in the strike zone. The knuckleball, you're not that certain. You can start it in the middle of the strike zone, it can go anywhere from there. And it's really very difficult to control. The pitch that Pepe hit was a fastball in a count when he was behind in the count. But I think both Bailey and Singleton drove in a run on a 3-ball, no-strike count on a knuckleball, which shows you the quality hitter that he is. And then Bailey was ahead in the count and got a knuckleball and hit it hard also. So our hitters were able to stay on Phil pretty much today. It looked to me like he wasn't throwing the ball with the same kind of looseness that he normally does when he is behind.
Mike, they say that in certain wind conditions, the knuckleball is almost impossible to hit. Would you make the same comparison with the screwball?
Yes, I think both Necro and I would like to pitch in the day when the wind's blowing right in our face. When the ball comes into our face, this means that it's going to make the ball change direction that much more, and the knuckleball will move more, and of course the screwball in those days almost breaks straight down.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much for chatting with us.
My pleasure, Russ.
Mike Marshall, who chalked up his 25th save this afternoon as the Montreal Expos defeated the Atlanta Braves by a score of 3-1.